Alright, so I'm going to do one more from my Pinterest here, and this is off from the Homestead Chicken section. Alright, this is actually Chicken Keeping 101, the beginner's guide to raising backyard chickens. Okay. Chicken keeping for beginners. Chicken keeping has really become the in thing to do lately. Over the past 10 years or so, chickens have gone from a farm or rural thing to a suburban backyard staple. Everyone knows someone who raises backyard chickens. I mean, why wouldn't you? Fresh eggs from your own hens is an amazing way to control your own food supply and teach your children about where food comes from. And they are so healthy. Over the last 11 years, I've learned a lot of things about chickens that I didn't expect. I've maintained a very large flock of up to 100 chickens, ducks, geese, and guinea fowl. I've compiled a lot of knowledge into this guide, which is written for those who are just getting into chicken keeping for the first time. And even though I've had chickens, I still consider myself a beginner. Since I've already written about many of the topics I'm going to talk about, this page is going to contain a lot of links. Just click on the underlined text to learn more about any topic. Now, I might star this one to go back and do little videos on the links. So, how to raise chickens. You only need a few things to raise your own chickens: a safe place for them to live and food and water. That's pretty much it, actually. Raising chickens is not too difficult. Before you commit to getting chickens, though, check with your local ordinances. Many places allow chickens now, but they often have rules about the amount of land you must have. Some also only allow for hens, as roosters violate noise ordinances. Your local township building should have all the information you need about your particular zoning. If you are allowed to have one, I recommend having a rooster in your flock. He will protect the hens, he can help keep harmony in the flock, and you'll need him around if you want to let the hens hatch chicks. First, you'll need to decide if you want to start with full-grown chickens or baby chicks. Starting with chicks means you need to assemble a brooder. Get some special chick feed and a heat source. Normal air temperature is too cold for young chicks, so you'll need to get a heat lamp or brooder plate to keep them warm. You'll have to keep them in this brooder for about 8 weeks. Once they grow their feathers out and get big enough to be without extra heat, they can move out to the chicken coop. Full-grown chickens can go right into the chicken coop, which is easier by far. Of course, you miss the fuzzy chick stage, which is utterly adorable, but raising chicks is not difficult at all. However, it is kind of stinky. You can also get something called started pullets, and they can go directly into the coop also. These are female chickens that are almost old enough to lay eggs, but not quite. Most hens start to lay eggs when they are about 5 months old, though this varies by breed. When you get started pullets, they are generally close to laying age. The different ages of chickens have different names. Like, we have baby, teenager, and adult for humans. A baby chicken is a chick. As they hit the teenager stage, a female chicken is a pullet, and a male chicken is called a cockerel. As they become adults, we then refer to them as chickens, as hens and roosters. Refer to the chickens as hens and roosters, sorry. The chicken coop. When you find out how many chickens you can have in your area, if there's no limit, woohoo, then you can decide what size chicken coop to get. You can either build or buy your coop, but you're going to need at least 3 to 4 feet of coop space per chicken. Of course, smaller sized chickens need less room and larger chickens need more. More standard breed laying hens fall into the 4-foot range. So a 10 by 10 coop can house 25 laying hens. A little extra space is better though. If you have a specific number, you have to stay under it. If you have a specific number, you have to stay under it. Makes it super easy to pick a coop size. If you don't have any regulations on how many chickens you can have, then you can either decide on a flock size and choose a coop slightly larger than that. It has to do with chicken math. You'll learn that one later. Or choose a coop you like and figure out how many chickens fit in it. Be careful where you put your coop. Make sure it's not in an area that gets too wet like we did with our first coop, or your wood will rot. You will want it close enough to the house that predators stay away, but not so close that you hear the roosters crowing at night. They crow all the time. Coops come from all different places, and I talk more in depth about it in Where Do Chicken Coops Come From? You can build or buy a coop. If you choose to buy a coop, be wary of the pre-made ones that come in a box that you just assemble. They're rather flimsy, and I've seen them get blown to bits in a strong windstorm. You'll probably want to have a run attachment to your coop. A run is a fenced-in area, preferably with a roof where the chickens can be outside but be safe from predators. Many chicken keepers do not have a run attached to their coop and instead opt to free range their chickens every day. Free range is when the chickens basically wander your yard eating bugs, pieces of grass, or weeds, and they're outside the whole time. It's great for the chickens, but free ranging can be quite risky, as they are more vulnerable to predators when they're outside the safety of their coop and their run. I have runs on all my coops, but let my chickens out to free range when I'm home. I also keep a livestock guard dog in the yard with them to watch out for the predators and help keep the chickens safe. Inside the coop. The chicken coop is going to need roosts, which are bars the chickens sit on to sleep at night. Many people use 2x4s, large fence posts, or even natural branches for the chickens to perch on. Whatever you choose, make sure it is wide enough for their toes so their toes are mostly flat, sorry. This way in the winter when they sit on their feet, they'll keep them from getting too cold. This is a great help if your temperatures get cold enough to cause frostbite. Place the roost up high. In a coop I can stand up in, I like to have them above my eye level. You'll want to place your nesting boxes lower than the roost. Some chickens like to sleep up high. You did. If the nest boxes are higher than or equal to the roost, the chickens might opt to sleep in the nesting boxes. Chickens poop in their sleep, so the nesting boxes will be dirty when the eggs are laid in the next day. Speaking of which, you will also need nesting boxes for the hens to lay their eggs in. They say you need one nest box for every 3 hens, but that's pretty much a lie. They'll all probably pick the same nesting box to lay their eggs in. Sigh. So while you should have multiple nesting boxes for the hens to choose from, don't be surprised when some sit unused. Put some bedding in the nesting boxes to prevent breakage and to just be more comfortable when the hens lay their eggs. You'll need feed and water containers and some type of bedding for the floor and nesting boxes. There are many types of bedding to choose from, but the most popular by far are wood shavings. I used the large pine shavings for the coop for our chickens, and they worked really well. I buy the big bags at the feed store, but make sure you get pine shavings, not cedar. Cedar shavings can cause damage to a chicken's respiratory tract through inhalation of cedar oils and dust. If you want more ideas for your chicken coop, check out the 4 coop additions I can't live without. Things like doors that automatically let the chickens into the run in the morning will make your life so much easier. What do chickens eat? If you're starting with hens, then you'll buy a feed called layer feed. It comes in 2 versions, pellets and crumbles. The best layer feed I have ever seen. Yeah, I've only had the chickens once, but that extraordinary layer feed that I found worked so well. I have hanging feeders in all my coops. They tend to keep mice out of the feed better, especially if you hang them a few inches off the floor. Unfortunately, mice are often a problem in chicken coops because they are attracted by the feed. Since the coop door is open during the day, they just waltz right in like they own the place. Keeping the feed a bit off the ground keeps them from climbing into the feeders. Chickens can also eat mealworms, seeds, fruit, vegetables, chicken scraps, scratch grains, weeds from the garden, black oil sunflower seeds, also called Boss, B-O-S-S, black oil sunflower seeds, and almost anything a person can eat with just a few things they can't eat. I do keep water inside my coops, but a lot of the people keep the drinkers outside in the run. It can be helpful in the winter to keep the waterers in the run to prevent moisture buildup in the coop. In the summer, though, I found no difference between keeping them inside the coop or out. Maintaining your flock of chickens. Make sure you fill your feeders and give the chickens fresh water daily. Wipe or wash out the water containers at least once a week, more often in the summer. This will help to remove excess bacteria that builds up. Plus, chickens are notorious for pooping in their water, and even though they will drink dirty water, hello, their mud puddle, you want to keep it as clean as possible. You'll need to clean the coop occasionally. There are two types of coop cleaning. The first is shovel up the poop under the roost every few days, since chickens tend to poop in their sleep. Once a month, scoop it all out and replace it. The other type is called the deep litter method. This is basically starting with a huge layer of coop bedding, stirring it up every week or so, adding more when needed, and changing it all at once a year. You'll want to look your chickens over regularly for signs of lice, mites, and other health problems. Just watch them all for a few minutes a day, and you'll be able to see if anyone is acting sick, limpy, or behaving oddly. So if there's there's your basic overview to raising chickens. Of course, that's not accounting for things like illness, injury, or predators. Hopefully you won't have to deal with those issues, but if you do, you'll find those answers in other posts on this site. Still have more questions about raising chickens? I wrote an ebook with even more details, The Beginner's Guide to Chicken Keeping. I didn't write the book, remember, I'm just reading this, sharing the information. The book has everything you need to know to get started, whether you're starting with chicks or hens. I'm tired. Sorry. Will be available through... Okay, never mind. Okay, so that was it on keeping chickens for beginners. So, I will get the title on this one and make sure that this one gets the intro on and uploaded tomorrow. I may do a few of my other videos from the book and just upload those. And I will get off from here and get this uploaded. Or not uploaded, but get the title on it. I can't believe it. Sorry. So if any of you guys are new to the channel, we are Faith First Farm and Homestead. We have 12.53 acres down here in Oklahoma. We moved down here about a year and a half ago, almost a year and a half ago. We lived in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan, born and raised. And for a while, I was actually starting a homestead up on the property that was my parents' property. I do have videos of that. I did have some chickens for a while. I was planning on getting other animals, but circumstances and situations we were in, we had to leave. Plus, we've lost a lot of family members, and we needed a fresh start. We had to start over. So, anyway, we don't live on our property yet. Our goal is to be on the property this spring. Sorry. We do have a camper trailer coming. Our friend Andrew, who I work with right now, his neighbor has a camper trailer that he's willing to sell us. It's $500. He's willing to work with us on the price. And once we get that on the property, then we're going to start working on like building a fence around the living space of the property and coops and our cabin and that kind of thing. So, but again, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and go to our live tab and pull up the video Faith First is going live. And in that video, go ahead and watch it. In that video, we go through and I explain, what started us on the homesteading journey, and why we moved, and what our plans are for the property with animals, our outbuildings, gardens, that kind of thing, and what our focus is. And just go ahead and watch that video, and remember to like and share the videos on all your platforms, friends, neighbors, family, and make sure they share the videos with all their friends and on their platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell and click on all so you'll get all the notifications, because I do tend to upload a lot under normal circumstances. But I will go ahead and get off from here, and I will get the title on this and make sure it gets uploaded by tomorrow. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.